Well, as Egypt commemorates the 40th anniversary of the Arab-Israeli war, at least one person has been killed and several others injured in clashes across the country, clashes between the security forces and the anti-coup protesters, who have also taken to the streets to denounce and criticize the Egyptian military. These are live pictures from Tahrir Square, where supporters of the military have gathered to celebrate it. We've got a correspondent who is overlooking the square right now, joins us on the line. We're not naming her for security reasons. We're looking at helicopters circling over Tahrir Square there. Tell us about what's happening, what's been happening there.
Yes, we've had these helicopters going past us for the last 10 minutes, really, carrying rounds of the flag. Part of the military parade, the military pomp and circumstance, if you like, that's going on. And another part of Cairo, the military elite and the political elite are over in El Gala Theatre, where they'll be having a big ceremony there. And a military flypast. In fact, we've had fighter jets going across Tahrir Square as well. I think we counted 16 or 17 fighter jets going over to the great excitement of the crowd. So really, the celebrations in full flow now in Tahrir Square. I don't know if you can see the pictures there. We're sort of thinking about 3,000 or 4,000 people now have joined the celebrations down there. And there is a celebration, a real carnival atmosphere. People down there with their families, they're buying flags and posters of General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, waving those around and getting into the party, really. There's a big stage and there's music going on at the same time. Of course, surrounding all this is confrontation. A kilometre and a half away on various positions to the north, to the south and to the east of Tahrir Square, there are clashes going on with the security forces, the anti-coup allowing that they would get marches to try and converge in Tahrir Square from different parts of Cairo, and that's exactly what they've delivered. We know that there's been tear gas being fired and gunshots in the air, warning gunshots in the air, to try and frustrate the progress of the various marches, to stop them making it to Tahrir Square. And they've been successful. We haven't seen any of those protesters get close to the square so far. Security forces drafted in extra personnel to keep these two sides at bay, keep them separate, and they have succeeded. And as you say, we're hearing of so far, although that wasn't in Cairo, that was way to the south of Cairo, but a number of people injured as this tear gas is fired, people trying to run away.
Okay, we're looking at some pictures there of an anti-coup protest in Al-Quba, thank you. In Al-Quba, there are several people on the streets, as you can see. What sort of security measures are right now in Tahrir Square to prevent these people who are protesting against the military from reaching the square and, and having a potentially very dangerous situation?
So they've been very careful with who they've allowed into the square. I mean, for the military, this isn't just about another anniversary. It's an important anniversary for them because they think, I think, that people around the world, if they see tens of thousands of people taking to the streets and squares across the country, it will really kind of legitimize their rule over Egypt now. It will make people around the world think that everything is right here and that the people here very much do support the military ruling this country. So they very much want to make sure the image that is seen is a celebration, is very much a pro-military celebration. So allowing people into the square has been a very sort of vigorous security check. They have three different people. Each of those filing in has to go past, the person, civilian person, then police, and then military, and then there's sniffer dogs and metal detectors. You can't really imagine another check that they could possibly make. So they have been very much checked before they go in, and they've succeeded because the people that you're seeing in Tahrir Square are the ones that very much support the government.
All right, let's check in now with our correspondent who is with the anti-coup protesters. Tell us about your location and what's been happening. We've seen tear gas, of course. Is the situation calmer now than it was just a few hours ago?
Well, not calmer, but we're in an area called Tahrir, and we're probably a couple of kilometres, maybe a bit more from Tahrir Square. And although I myself have had to move to a slightly safer place, because what we have is a situation where you have we had initially 2,000 or 3,000 protesters. That increased to about 5,000 protesters at most, walking towards a place called Tahrir Street before they were forced back by the security forces. And still ongoing is this attempt to push the protesters back, and they are on the back foot at the moment. They aren't any further forward, and the tear gas and the rounds fired into the air are dispersing the protesters away off the main road and down into narrow side streets. So you have a lot of people running and crying and running away from the security forces, and some people injured in that melee as they run away. So it's still going on, but what's happening is the protesters are being pushed further and further back, and I think from what we've seen, there's certainly some sort of concerted effort to stop them regrouping. What happens is, what certainly happened on Friday was that when the security forces stopped firing tear gas and stopped firing in the air, the protesters would regroup and march again. Well, it seems now that this sort of tear gas and firing into the air is pretty relentless, and is an attempt, it seems, to stop people regrouping, and it's working. It's stopping them regrouping.